Hey there, fellow trainers. Today, we have a special treat for all of you seeking to start a playthrough of the hit Game Boy classic, Pokemon Yellow. Today, we're covering the early game encounters on the first few routes, and giving our honest opinion of them, and reviewing their usefulness in a run, this fan-favorite installment. From the Fighting-type Pokemon Mankey, to the Bug-type Pokemon Weedle. We'll cover them all and give you the information you need to succeed. Let's get started. First off, we have Route 1. In this ever-nostalgic route, we can find Pidgey and Rattata in copious quantities. Now the question is, are either of these Pokemon worth your time? The short answer is no and yes, in that order. Both have value in the early game, but Pidgey is quickly replaced by a superior option. This superior flying type option is available on Route 22, just up the road from here, and we'll get to it shortly. First things first though, we need to address the Pokemon on this route. Now, Rattata is a more interesting encounter to discuss here. As a child, I wouldn't have bothered with this, as I put it at the time, piece of shit Pokemon, for any other reason than the task of completing the Pokédex. However, over time, I've come to realize that judgment was a bit harsh and undeserved. Rattata is by no means amazing in Generation 1, but it's certainly not worthless. That honor belongs to Pidgey, in my opinion. The fact that Rattata has access to a high-powered stab move, namely Hyper Fang, at such a low level, makes it very powerful in the early game. However, it does begin to lose its usefulness by the third gym, as there are far superior options available by then. Now, before I continue, according to my YouTube analytics, the vast majority of you watching aren't subscribed. So if you're finding this video at all entertaining or useful, please smash that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot, and it's completely free. Now, where was I? Ah yes. Up next, we have the aforementioned Route 22. Located to the west of Viridian City, this route is one you will see again much later on your journey, as you must traverse both it and Route 23 before heading through Victory Road on your way to the Indigo Plateau. On Route 22, you can find several worthy additions to your party. Such additions include Spearow, Mankey, and both the male and female Nidorans. Now Spearow, as well as its evolved form Fearow, are fine additions to your team. Out of the early flying type encounters, it definitely outshines the alternatives of Pidgey and Pidgeotto. In Generation 1, you have to remember that Gust is a normal type move, and therefore Spearow is the only flying type in the early game to have access to a stab move. This alone makes it the superior choice over Pidgey. Mankey, on the other hand, is our only fighting type option at this point of the game, and trivializes the fight with Brock if you invest some time grinding levels. In fact, this is probably your best bet for beating Brock, although one alternative exists in Pokemon Yellow. That alternative is the Nidorans. Nidoran female is not bad in my opinion. After all, having well-rounded base stats is always useful, and Nidoqueen has that in spades. However, its lower base attack stats compared to its male counterpart can hurt you in some instances. I personally find I prefer the male Nidoran to the female for this very reason in most of my runs. Now, as for why they're the alternative, you should keep in mind that Pokemon Yellow made several adjustments to the move pools of quite a few Pokemon. For instance, in Pokemon Yellow, Both Nidorans learn Double Kick at level 12, as opposed to level 43 in Pokemon Red and Blue. Access to this move so much earlier makes them an ideal alternative to Mankey, and worthy additions to the party. Now, Route 2 is full of duplicate encounters, so I'll simply point out what they are and move along. On Route 2 in Pokemon Yellow, you can encounter Pidgey, Rattata, Nidoran Male, and Nidoran Female. Now for the final location we'll be covering today, Viridian Forest. Living under the shade of its trees, you'll find the usual fare of Weedle, Kakuna, Caterpie, and Metapod. However, bizarrely enough, in Pokemon Yellow, you can also encounter a wild Pidgeotto in these woods. The odds are extremely low, but I have encountered them at least once in my many playthroughs of this game, and can confirm that it is indeed possible. While I find the bug-type Pokemon available in Viridian Forest, up to and including their final forms, to be low value in the long run, they do offer some value, and should not be completely dismissed. Butterfree, for instance, is another option for dealing with Brock, as it learns Confusion at level 10 in Generation 1. It also is a source of all 3 powder moves, if you choose to invest in it further. Beedrill, on the other hand, while not exactly useful for the Pewter City gym fight, can come in handy in a few instances outside of the gym battle, as a pivot against poison types, which in Generation 1 are absurdly plentiful. Now, in my opinion, a good trainer will make the most of what is available to them. Even with such paltry pickings as these, a good trainer finds a way. If you can think of any ideas or strategies involving these Pokemon that I didn't cover, please share them in the comments below. Your input is always welcome here. And with that, we're all out of time for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more exciting content. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.